consciousness rise from deep within. Breathing in what beauty means to you. Breathing out, knowing you are alive. Breathing in and feeling your body in the chair. Allowing your awareness to come back to this room, to this time and place. Each inhale bringing you more fully back into this present moment awareness. And when you're ready, I invite you to open your eyes as we get ready for celebration service.
Good morning, everybody.
Take a look at the person next to you. Say, I recognize the God in you.
I recognize the God in you.
I feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together.
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 In the name of love, we come together.
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 In the name of love. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, I love you and I love you too.
I love you and I love you too.
Now feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together.
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 In the name of love, we come together.
Come together.
We come together.
Come together.
We come together.
Come together.
In the name of love, every walk of life,
Every walk in life.
every creed and color,
Every creed and color.
in kinship we unite,
In kinship we unite.
in honor of the God in each other. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, namaste, I bow to you.
Namaste, I bow to you.
Now feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together.
Come together.
In the name of love, we come together.
Come together.
We come together.
Come together.
We come together.
Come together.
In the name of love, we come together.
Come together.
We come together. We come together.
Come together.
In the name of love, we come together.
Come together.
We come together. We come together.
Come together.
In the name of love.
All right.
Everybody make a joyful noise. Everybody make a joyful noise. We know how to make a joyful noise. Clap your hands and lift your voice. Everybody make a joyful noise. Everybody lift your voice in song. Everybody lift your voice in song. Come on, lift your voice in song. You can do it, sing along. Everybody lift your voice in song. Everybody clap on 2 and 4. Everybody clap on 2 and 4. Come on, clap on 2 and 4. Make it loud and give it more. Everybody clap on 2 and 4. Living big for God's the way to go. Living big for God's the way to go. Living big the way to go. Give it up, just let it flow. Living big for God's the way to go. We intend to make a joyful noise. We intend to make a joyful noise. We intend to make a joyful noise. Clap your hands and lift your voice. We intend to make a joyful noise. We intend to make a joyful noise. We intend to make a joyful noise.
Yes, yes. Good morning, Ahava Center for Spiritual Living. Ahava is the Hebrew word for love. And we gather together every Sunday knowing that love is
Always the answer.
You got it. I am Reverend Rainbow along with Reverend Sunny. We are your co-spiritual directors, and we welcome you here this morning. If you are joining us online, we especially welcome you to our global virtual community. Please say hello in the chat and let us know from where you are tuning in. And while you're online or if you're in the room, go ahead and check in, press that like and subscribe button, share. It's the way that we get to get who we are out into the world. So we know that your friends and family may be looking for something that Ahava offers, and that's the best way to let them know what we're up to. And we won't give you the stink eye if you happen to get out your phone and check in, take pictures, all of that stuff. As long as you're doing it for Ahava, right? So who are we? We are a conscious community committed to curiosity so that we may provide a loving space to be reminded of the truth of who we are. We are an open and affirming community, so whoever you are, wherever you are on your spiritual path of discovery, know that you are welcome here. So we invite you now just to take a moment to turn to someone next to you or your animal friend at home and say, thank you for being a reflection of me. Yes. And we have a wonderful vision and purpose here. We invite you to affirm it by repeating after me. We are an inclusive community.
We are an inclusive community.
Committed to global transformation. Through personal evolution. And our purpose, let's do it together. Ready? Wake up, step up, and make a difference. That's right. Today's affirmation is, I appreciate the beauty and grace that dwell within all creation. And if you are not getting those texts with the affirmation every Sunday, it means that we don't have your mobile number, and we would love to share those with you. So all you have to do is there's a sign-in sheet there or by the other door. Make sure we have your correct information, and we text out those affirmations every Sunday morning, and you can share that information online as well. If you are joining us for the first time, we especially welcome you and let you know that your presence here makes a difference. We would love to share a gift with you from our core council and let you know a little bit more about who we are. So all you have to do is raise your hand. Do we have anyone here for the first time? Welcome. Thank you. And if you're online for the first time, please say a little, hello, I'm here, and we'll give you some hearts and love as well. So we are so grateful for the many hearts and hands that come together, giving of their time and their talent to help create this fabulous community, not only for our Sunday morning experience, but for all that we have going on throughout the week. So we want to thank all of our SEBA volunteers that give of their sacred service. If you're in the room, if you're a volunteer, you can give yourself a little one of these, a little pat on your back. And if you're looking for a way to get more involved, joining a service team is a great way to get plugged in, to experience a deeper sense of community and be of service to your community. So we are especially looking for some more volunteers for our wonderful growing youth program, as well as our greeter team. If you're someone that loves to say hello and meet folks and welcome folks, that may be the team for you. So see me after service and I can get you plugged in. We have some things going on, y'all. on Wednesday night, our meditation and metaphysical discussion is back via Zoom. So wherever you are around the world, you can join in on that fabulous experience. It's a great way to have a little bit more of an intimate experience of community. We have a reading, we meditate together, we discuss, we pray. So don't forget to mark your calendars for every Wednesday night at 6:30 to join us on Zoom. One of our favorite things are our music services, yes? Because we love this band. So coming up, it's next Sunday? I can't believe it's next Sunday already is our special gratitude music service. So be here, bring your friends. You know, there's just nothing like the energy in the room of live music. And we are so blessed to get to have a special all-music service next Sunday. As well as this Saturday, November 20th, is our first gathering of our new group, Queering Spirituality, for LGBTQ plus teens and young adults. We're going to meet here at 11 a.m. on Saturday, and you don't need to sign up in advance. Masks are required because we'll be in person, and we're really excited to get this new group kicked off. And Jace is not here today, but they have been making announcements about it. So Jace is the new leader for this wonderful group. If you have any questions, you can also reach out to me and Jace to get you plugged in.
Wait, do we have to come to Ahava regularly? Or
No, it is great question. It is open for everyone. So if you have a friend or family member, know someone in the community, a neighborhood, yes, teen or young adult, someone in your life that is looking for a safe and brave space to talk about spirituality and the intersections of gender and sexuality, this is that space. And knowing that you are completely loved and affirmed. So we are here for that. Great question. Let's give some love to this band, yes? Sending some special love to our music director, Joe Chinquina. He is out today recovering from a very successful surgery, so we see him home perfect and back up here jamming with us in no time. So give some love for Joe. Yes. We have Lauren Dechtenberg on keys and doing our reading. We have John Dittert on drums. And our featured vocalist today is Justin Norris. And, of course, Mr. Jeff Watts making us all sound good. Thank you, Jeff. So let's begin now to open our hearts as we move into our centering song and opening prayer led by practitioner Louise Talon.
In this place, my soul is free from the life within. I see all the joy of a peace. Carry me. Carry me, carry me, oh, carry me. In this place, love abides, holy light.
take this moment to anchor in the one, to rest in the knowingness that that one is all there is. There is nothing beyond it, nothing separate from it, for it contains all. It is all things and yet nothing, and in this moment I know it as beauty, as love, as creativity, as freedom, as wholeness, as abundance, knowing that whatever is the truth of the one is the truth of me, is the truth of each beloved hearing my voice and those beyond. And knowing that I bless this service, I bless this morning. I bless the voices of our beloved ministers, Reverend Rainbow and Reverend Sunny. I bless the voice, the life, the light of our guest minister, Reverend Petra. I bless the musicians, knowing that their hands, their hearts, and their voices are simply the sound of God. I bless the hearts and hands of all those who've come together to unleash the sparks of holiness in this place, knowing that we come here to get nothing but to simply open in love as love, and to share that love with one another, remembering that it is simply God looking at God. For we are each that divine essence personified. Knowing that, I declare it good and very good, and simply allow it to be by saying, and so it is.
All the joy, all the peace, carry me, carry me, carry me, oh, carry me.
Today's reading is entitled The Paradox of Fall by Parker Palmer. Autumn is a season of great beauty, but it is also a season of decline. The days grow shorter, the light is suffused, and summer's abundance decays toward winter's death. Faced with this inevitable winter, what does nature do in autumn? She scatters the seeds that will bring new growth in the spring, and she scatters them with amazing abandon. In my own experience of autumn, I am rarely aware that seeds are being planted. Instead, my mind is on the fact that the green growth of summer is browning and beginning to die. My delight in the autumn colors is always tinged with melancholy, a sense of impending loss that is only heightened by the beauty all around. I am drawn down by the prospect of death more than I am lifted by the hope of new life. But as I explore autumn's paradox of dying and seeding, I feel the power of metaphor. In the autumnal events of my own experience, I am easily fixated on surface appearances, on the decline of meaning, the decay of relationships, the death of a work. And yet, if I look more deeply, I may see the myriad possibilities being planted to bear fruit in some season yet to come.
We are held in the hands of grace, forever safe in the arms of love. Like a child receives protection from a mother's warm embrace, we are held in the hands of grace. You are held in the hands of grace, forever held in the arms of love. salvation from a mother's warm embrace. We are held in the arms of grace. We are held in the arms of
Ooh, so beautiful, yes. Really just setting that vibrational tone for what I know is going to be such a treat and a delight. So I have the privilege now of getting to introduce our special guest today, Reverend Dr. Petra. She has been passionately teaching Science of Mind for over 35 years, although you wouldn't guess it because you'd think she's maybe a day older than that, right? She is passionate about bringing science and spirituality together, along with deep mysticism and practical psychology. Her purpose is transformation, and her mission is to grow people, communities, and ideas. She has written countless articles for the Science of Mind magazine, and if you picked up this month's magazine, all the daily guides are written by her. She has spoken nationally and internationally on spirituality, leadership, positive and practical metaphysics. She has co-authored a number of books and journals as well. And she currently serves as the co-spiritual director of CSL Dallas, a center for spiritual living, creating a dynamic, diverse spiritual community since 1998. She has served in the leadership for Centers for Spiritual Living for over 25 years. And this past few days, she has been with our core council, really doing amazing work together to kind of set the stage for what is to come for us here in the next few years. So we are so blessed by her consciousness and her presence and all that she has to offer. And I just know that I could go on and on and on. That one thing I'm grateful for is I know that you hold our community in your heart and in your prayers as well. And so we are so grateful for that and really feel like you are a part of who we are. So without further ado, shall we welcome Reverend Dr. Petra Weldes.
Thanks, Reverend Rainbow, and thanks, Reverend Sunny, for inviting me and having me here with your core council and for being here on Sunday. And it's just a lovely thing, and I can't see you guys through this lovely little microphone. And so, gosh, and how lovely it is to be back together again, as well as online, and to have those kinds of choices. And I just want to I have this minor complaint. We're talking about seeing beauty and feeling grace, but you did not grace me with a little bit of snow this morning. So I know I was praying for snow, and apparently you all were praying not to have it. So it's all right. Today's topic is seeing beauty and feeling grace, and it's one of the reasons why in the month topic of A Breathe in the View, and it's one of the reasons why I was so grateful to be asked to do the daily guides, because I love the topic this month and all of these beautiful topics, seeing beauty and feeling grace. I don't know about you, when I first got into Science of Mind and metaphysics, and I began to study, and they kept talking about the qualities of God or the qualities of spirit, and everybody seemed to have a different list and a different way of describing that. And I became particularly enamored, and it was a big anchor for me when I found Thomas Troward's 7 qualities. Now, I don't think these are the only qualities, or this is the only way you can describe this, but perhaps you're familiar with Thomas Troward's 7 qualities of God: love, light, life, peace, power, beauty, and joy. And there's a beautiful write-up in his work where he shows how each one falls out of the next, and that pretty much everything that you might think about could be subsumed into one of these qualities. And of course, there's lots of other lists, but this list has always spoken to me so that I never could figure out why beauty was on it. Truthfully, it didn't make any sense to me, because it seems to me beauty has been, well, to a certain extent, it's been weaponized against women. And it is seemingly something that we aspire to but can never achieve. There seems to be a gap around beauty, whether from a socioeconomic perspective. It's hard to live in beauty if one is in poverty, and beauty is in the museums and in unattainable places. The problem with beauty, it seems to me, is that fundamentally we find it as a comparison, right? It's a comparison. Is this beautiful or not? Am I beautiful or not? Am I beautiful enough? Especially around the body and all the advertisement that we are subject to. But even long before that, if a woman wasn't beautiful enough or a man wasn't handsome enough, something was not right. And we know today how much damage that has done, especially through social media with our young ones, girls and boys, creating self-loathing and an unwillingness to be okay with who we are and who we came here to be. Beauty can also be an expression of wealth and ostentation. And we compare ourselves in our experience of self-worth. And then there's the pushback. There's the backlash to that. Well, I'm not going to care about that. I'm just going to make sure it works. It's practical, it's utilitarian. And being a lover of architecture in Europe, sometimes I come home to the United States and I just think how boring our buildings are. Oh my God. You know, they're just square boxes because they're all utilitarian. That's all we need, right? And there's such beauty in some of the architecture all over the world. And then when form follows function, right, it becomes somehow like we don't care about those things. It's not as important. And so beauty can actually be very problematic in very many ways. And so when I first encountered this list, and actually for years, like, I don't really get it. And then there's this other word, grace. Feeling beauty, seeing beauty, feeling grace is our topic for today. And I'm a cradle Catholic, born and raised, and I left that pretty early. And grace was a big deal, and I didn't get it. I didn't get grace. Somehow grace was an unearned favor of God, from God somehow, but we still have to earn it by confessing, by being good. In the science of mind and in metaphysics, we can feel like we have to earn grace through our meditation practice and our positivity. And if we're not quite meditating enough and we're not positive enough, we're not actually sure whether or not we're living in the state of grace. And so then there's the whole conversation about grace versus works. If you have that in your background, if you came up through any of that conversation, right? And how do we know that we're favored by God? And in metaphysics, we can talk about it as whether or not we're in alignment with life. And yet there's such value in allowing these words to have their way with us. If we can perhaps set aside some of our human misconceptions and invite ourselves into a relationship with what these words are trying to get at and inviting us to experience. For me, personally, I began to really explore the notion of beauty in my garden and walking in the mountains, because I found that beautiful. And what I noticed is it wasn't perfect. Nothing about it was perfect, right? There were, branches falling in the little streams, and trees that had been struck by lightning, and flowers that were being eaten by the bugs, and yet something was happening. Something was here. And it appeared so effortless. Beauty and grace. And then at one point I had a client, a particularly wealthy client, who lived in an exquisitely decorated condo high up overlooking, beautiful. And this was many years ago. And having some serious challenges with life, relationships, and really serious challenges. And I spent quite a bit of time working with her, and she was really about, I would like to have peace and harmony in my life. So we did a lot of prayer work, a lot of spiritual mind treatment about harmony. And as I was working with that, really exploring, well, how do you know what harmony looks like, feels like? Something came together for me that when we were talking about harmony and I would be doing this work, that what would come up was divine order and divine right action, everything flowing and moving in its perfect place. And I remembered my art history classes and the definition of beauty in art history and architecture is proportion. Things in proportion with each other. Somehow there's a grace in the proportion. And as I began doing this work about divine right order and divine right action as the way to the expression of harmony, all of a sudden I found myself using the word beauty as a quality of this expression and experience where life is in proportion. The human experience is in proportion to the spiritual revelation. The expression of life is in proportion to the ability to be present to life. And this idea of beauty as something that comes from within, as opposed to something that is looked at from the outside. You know, I grew up with, I'm sure you did too, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So what I think is beautiful isn't what you think is beautiful, right? And that's okay because it's in the eye of the beholder. But beauty is so much more than what is in the eye, and it's so much more than just what is seen out there. So I looked up the definition of beauty, and the very first definition of beauty, the quality present in a thing or a person that gives intense pleasure or deep satisfaction to the mind and the heart when arising from sensory manifestations, shape, color, sound, or a meaningful design or pattern or something else in which high spiritual qualities are manifest. Okay, I did not learn that definition of beauty in school. No, I did not. But it was the number one definition. You know what the number two definition was? Beauty, comma, as in a woman. I was like, we're not going there. No. I like that first one. We're stopping right there. We're stopping with the first one. That was good. So it's not about the perfection of what's in the eye of the beholder, right? It is the beyond seeing beauty. It is the sensing and feeling and experiencing and ultimately expression of harmony, proportion, engagement, something so much more than just comparison and things that are out there. So again, as I said, for me, hiking in the mountains, trees, flowers, what I noticed is they were just being. They didn't require anything from me. They did not require for me to say, wow, you're beautiful. They really could care less whether I was there or not. They were just being themselves, exuding life. And in that exuding of life, expressing of themselves, in harmony with the ecosystem in which they found themselves, my heart was touched. We experienced that forest bath, that moment of peace, that sense of connection, right? When we have those moments and we feel the presence of life. Just being. Just being. And the beauty of that is something we could learn from. But not only what we see, but what we sense. Think of the beauty of the most exquisite meal you've had. The succulence and the flavor. Another version of beauty. One of the things I look for when I look for clothes is the beauty of the fabric, which has everything to do with the way it drapes and the way it feels and the textures and how it wraps, and right? It's not so much how it looks, but how it feels. Music. That was exquisite. Thank you, Justin. Absolutely exquisite. I remember going to a symphony, and I can't remember the composer, but the whole second half was was Scheherazade, right? 1001 Nights, and the song is a Scheherazade, and I don't remember the classical composer, but Scheherazade was a violin solo, and it made me weep. It was so beautiful, touched something so deep, right? We've all had these experiences, haven't we? Every single one of us, with somebody's eyes, or some piece of music, or some flavor, color, texture, right? With a baby, kittens, dogs, right? Horses, right? And what's really happening? Life expressed, life fully expressed and fully engaged. And when we feel that presence, I believe that's when our soul knows that we are in the presence of the sacred. And there is a deep and rich exchange. The sacred and the sacred recognize each other, and there's a deep and powerful exchange. Ernest Holmes quotes Sri Aurobindo that the manifest body of God, the manifest physical universe, is here for the delight of the divine. It is the expression of life, exploding into the diverse manifestations, all the ways that it can express itself. And of course, it's doing that through us, and yet we are the place where it can awaken and see itself. So the delight of the divine is not only for the delight of the divine, but it is actually also for the delight of the divine, right? And the divine are delighting in each other. Sometimes it's sacred and deep and rich and powerful, and sometimes you just want to dance and shout it from the rooftops. It can be joyous, it can be quiet, it can be so many different ways. And notice that none of them have to do with comparison. I have it and you don't. You have it and I don't. And I'm not good enough, or expressing it enough, and none of it has to do with comparison. And I believe that when we're in that moment, I think that's what grace means. That's what grace means. Because we are living, recognizing that it's all already given. It's all already here. There's nothing we need to do to earn it. Just have to open our eyes and our heart and our minds and our bodies and our senses to allow that place of recognition to happen. Then we experience spirit exuding from within, behind, and through all of creation. And it reminds us that we too are a part of that, so that we can see it in ourselves. And we can see it in each other. We stop needing not only ourselves to be perfect, but we can stop needing other people to be perfect. Most of the time. I'm going to be a little careful about that statement, but Right? And Ernest Holmes says this is the definition of love. This is the definition of love, the self-givingness of spirit into creation, giving all of itself all the time into creation. Do you understand that that is how loved each one of us is? That is how loved you are. Spirit has loved so much. It has become you. I was going to swear, but I won't do it on Sonny's pulpit platform. Holy shit. Oh my God. It's you. It's me. It's us, right? I mean, the first time that I try to embody that, not just intellectualize it. Oh, it's a nice thing to say. Yes, I'm part of the God. I'm the emanation of the Spirit. But Spirit gave so much, all of itself, and it became me and you. That's love. And so that song, when we're held in the arms of grace, we are experiencing love. It is always already given. We're sensing it, feeling it, seeing it, experiencing the presence, the grace of that. We don't always talk about that a lot in metaphysics because sometimes it smacks of that dualism, right? And yet Martin Buber talks about the three faces of the divine, I, thou, and it. And in the science of mind, we're very comfortable with I, the indwelling presence. We're really good at it, the universal laws that we can use and understand. A little hesitant about the thou because it does in fact smack of dualism. And yet when we recognize that there is a transcendent mystery that is pouring itself as love into creation, and we can feel it wrapped around us. It doesn't have to have eyes or a shape or be a deity for us to experience being held in grace. And when we're held in grace and we know that it's always there, we recognize that there is no gap to bridge. We don't have to form a relationship with the one. We don't have to become more spiritual. We don't have to try to figure out how to bridge the gap between our humanness and our spiritual essence, ourselves and our higher self, because there is no gap. It's allowing it in, whether we allow it in from the outside or out from the inside, to begin to recognize that it's always already here. Ernest Holmes says in Words That Heal Today, he says, grace, that is what Spirit has become as you. That's the gift. Works is what you do with it. What you do with the unstinting life that has been poured as you into creation. To feel that love, to feel the sacred presence in all the ways that we can. I fill my home with beauty, with art. You have filled your community here with beauty, with art, to remind us of the sacred presence and that it is always available. So as we close, I'd just like to invite you to think about all the ways in which we also use the word grace. We say grace at the table. It's an expression of gratitude for that which is already given from the earth, from the mother, from those who have prepared it, grown it, cooked it, put it in front of us, the whole chain. And to think about graceful. I remember my mother saying to me, I choose to age gracefully. Think of people that we think of that are graceful, without stress. What does that mean? In harmony with oneself. And I watched my mother be in harmony with every decade that passed and who she was becoming in each of those decades. To be graceful is to be in harmony with oneself and how one is acting and expressing and showing up. That all of that is in alignment with that which is Spirit as us. And when we are experiencing grace, we give grace to ourselves and each other. I think that looks like compassion, gentleness, acceptance. Why? Because we are then being love and seeing love in each other. So to feel beauty, to see beauty and to feel grace, seems to me it's an inner awareness. We're making visible to the senses this presence in so many different ways. We seek to exude it outward, and we invite it to touch us in return. And so as we move on our journey, we look for this presence. We invite it to reveal itself to us, however it speaks to our soul and to our heart. And to remember that every point along our journey has been integral to becoming who we are today. There is, in fact, an exquisite beauty in the divine order of our lives. Without even the smallest step that we have taken, in the tiniest choice we have made along the path, we would not be here, and we would not be who we are today. And so let us see our journey as beauty and grace unfolding to this very moment. Let us pray. Just inviting us to turn within for a moment, recognizing that indwelling presence, that love that is forever pouring itself into creation for its own delight, and as us, we pour it through us into creation as well. And delight, resonate, mirror, reflect, expand, and grow. And so this morning, as we come to this moment, let us invite beauty to reveal itself to us in a whole new way, that we may sense it as the truth of our being, and that we may feel it as the truth of others. And knowing that as we allow that revelation to take place, we do in fact walk in grace. The grace of the one life as it is us, and the grace that we bring to every moment. And whether it's a moment of exquisite garden, a beloved, or even a challenge, everything we need is always already given. For we are wrapped in the love that is the heart of life itself. Knowing that this is the truth, I simply allow these words to move out into the law, trusting that they return to each one of us, manifested in some new way. And in that perfect trust, I let it go. I let it be. And so it is.
And we let the peace, we let
Now, before you sit down, turn to the person next to you and say, "You are beautiful." So much beauty in this room. Yes, yes, yes. Woo. All right. So now we get to move into our time of conscious giving. There are several ways that you can give online as well. You can text the word "give" to 859-209-6996. You can also go to our website, and there's a little give tab there, and you can continue to mail in your gifts as well to 168 Burt Road, Lexington, Kentucky, 40503. So before we invite the core council to pass the basket, we invite you to perhaps place your hands on your heart as we bless our gifts today. So repeat after me. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I joyously contribute to the vision of Ahava, knowing it returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is.
Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful.
I'm so grateful.
I'm so grateful.
Grateful.
So grateful.
I'm so grateful.
I'm so grateful.
Grateful.
I'm so grateful.
I'm so grateful.
I'm so grateful.
Grateful.
I'm so grateful.
I'm so grateful.
I'm so grateful.
I'm so
Grateful.
Take it away, Justin.
Oh, I don't care. Gotta celebrate the moment, gotta own it for it blows away. Blows away. And I'll beat my snare. Got a burning in my heart when it's dark. Can you feel the flame? Feel the flame. But there's a part of me that used to go and hide in peace. But now I'm touching the ceiling. I found someone to believe in. And now all I see, so many possibilities. And now I'm touching the ceiling. I found someone to believe in. But oh, I got a feeling that the night is on my side. I got it, I go shining so bright like I'm gold, yeah. Oh, I got a feeling that I'm gonna be alright. I got it, I go shining so bright like I'm gold, yeah. There's nothing better than to hear the sound of thunder when I hit the ground. I got a feeling that I'm gonna be alright. I got it, I go shining so bright like I'm gold, yeah. Step by step, got a power in the way that I walk, and I'm here to stay. Here to stay. And I feel so high, like a rocket in the sky, and I got nothing in my way. In my way. But there's a part of me that used to go and hide in peace. But now I'm touching the ceiling. I found someone to believe in. And now all I see, so many possibilities. But now I'm touching the ceiling. I found something to believe in. And oh, I got a feeling that the night is on my side. I got it, I go shining so bright like I'm gold, yeah. Oh, I got a feeling that I'm gonna be alright. I got it, I go shining so bright like I'm gold, yeah. There's nothing better than to hear the sound of thunder when I hit the ground. Oh, I got a feeling that the night is on my side. I got it, I go shining so bright like I'm gold, yeah. I got a feeling I'm shining gold. I'm shining gold. I'm shining gold. I've got a feeling. Hey, I got a feeling. I'm shining gold. I've got a feeling that I'm gonna be alright. I got it, I go shining so bright like I'm gold, yeah. Oh, I got a feeling that the night is on my side. I got it, I go. I'm shining so bright like I'm gold, yeah. There's nothing better than to hear the sound of thunder when I hit the ground. I got a feeling that I'm gonna be alright. I got it, I go shining so bright like I'm gold, yeah.
Woo! Yes.
We love you. You're a shining star, wonderful, just the way you are. We celebrate your sacred face. We love you just the way you are. We love you just the way you are. We do.
Hi.
All right, so Sage wants to share the affirmation.
I am loved.
Yes.
And Libby wants to tell you what we did today.
We played bingo.
Ooh.
Thanksgiving bingo.
Yes, beautiful. So let's give some more love to our young ones. We see their beauty and their grace as well. So grateful for their joy and enthusiasm and curiosity. You going this way, bud? So just a reminder that practitioners are available to support you with affirmative prayer. And what that looks like currently is we have a prayer box. So when you go out this door, on your way out, you will see at the other exit a beautiful prayer box and all the practitioner cards. You can pick up their card and reach out to them during the week. You can fill out a prayer request and stick it in the box. And if you're online, you can go to our website and there's a form there. And if you put your phone number or an email, the practitioner will reach out to you in that way. And if you prefer just to know that you are being prayed for and loved up, you do not have to provide that information, and they will pray for you all week. So please lean into that support and allow our practitioners to know the truth of who you are. Yes, yes. Just a reminder, next Sunday is our gratitude music service. We're going to be having wonderful music and readings to really support the topic of love and gratitude. So bring a friend. It's a wonderful day to be here and soak up all that good beauty of the music, yes? And Saturday is our first gathering of Queering Spirituality group for our teens and young adults meeting right here. So anything else, Reverend Sonny?
Thank you, Reverend Dr.
Big thank you to Reverend Dr. Petra. Yes, yes, yes. Make sure you get that Science of Mind magazine for this month, and you could take her home with you every day. Get a little Petra love. Yes. All right. So let's bring our service to a close now. I invite you to stand and repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening to me right now.
Something wonderful is happening to me right now.
It's this thing called life.
It's this thing called life.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my affairs.
Life is in my affairs.
I accept it.
I accept it.
I am it.
I am it.
I share it.
And I share it.
Just the way it appears.
Just the way it appears.
And just the way it appears not.
And just the way it appears not.
Thank you, life.
Thank you, life.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Let me love in a holy, holy way.
Let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way.
Let me live in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way.
Let me live in a holy, holy way.
Let me live in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way.
Thank you to Reverend Dr. Petra Weldes, and thank you to all of you for coming out and joining us this morning, both on site and online. We'll see you next week for our all music service. Until then, stay healthy, stay happy. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way.
Let me live in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way.
Let me live